Howdy Pitmasters, happy Friday, welcome to GrillCave Banter. Yes, it is Friday again, going into the long weekend, starting it off right with an episode of GrillCave Banter. Long weekend coming, that means smokers are going to be out, grillers going to be out, the brewer's going to be out, no work, it's going to be a good time. As usual, we're going to start the episode off with the brew of the day, and today I've got the Pirate Life Lager. After trying the draft they had at Meatstock that they specifically formulated and partnered up and sponsored Meatstock with, I wanted to try something that wasn't in their Pale Ale or IPA range, and so I hunted down online through Beer Cartel, thank you very much, their lager. And I got to say, whether you like an Aussie draft beer or not, straight out the tap, you cannot compare this to any CUB beer or any other lager brew. This thing is so good. I mean, it's smooth, it's crisp, it's got like an earthy feel. It's got a really fluffy head on the top, smooth on the palate, has like a sweet ending, but then like that white peppery sort of like spice to it at the end. But I mean, it's just smooth and crisp and like so foamy. I mean, and it just goes clean. I mean, the bitterness is low. Whatever bitterness is there has been balanced out by like by the sweetness at the end. But it's just so smooth. Like I have not had a lager that is that smooth. I'm really impressed. Now, knowing Pirate Life and their brews, haven't had a bad one yet. But not that, draft lager is not exactly their specialty, but they have nailed it on the head with this one. So, if that's not your normal sort of brew, if you're more of an ale sort of guy, I'm telling you, you need to get a hold and try this Pirate Life lager, because it is smooth, and they will just keep going down and down and down. At 4.5%, I mean, they're good. It's a good solid beer. Cheers. Speaking of Pirate Life, I've seen through one of their email marketings, through their EDMs, that they've got the Winter Series festival coming up. It's a barbecue and brewery festival that's through, I think, July, August, September, or no, June, July, August, whatever the dates were. But it's pretty much you're going to the brewery, you're looking at, you're trying craft beers. They're doing barbecue trial and masterclass events, pretty much pairing meat and beer, and they're calling it the Winter Series, the Barbecue and Brewery Winter Series by Pirate Life. You can get your tickets online now. So over the next couple of months, whenever they're running it, you should double check that. If you're over at Port Adelaide at any point during that time, you should go check it out and let me know, because I'm not going to get over there here in Melbourne. But if anyone goes to this Pirate Life Winter Series, and gets tickets and gets to go there, let us know how it is. I'm going to keep tabs on it, because the lineup they've got going is pretty good, between the brewery, trying all the new craft beers. I don't know whether you're making your own or what you're doing, or if you're just sampling stuff, or that. But as far as from what I've read, you're just pairing different brews against all the type of barbecuing they've got going, and they've got cooking master classes and food sampling, or I think there's more details to come. But check it out. I mean, it looks good. So if you're over in Port Adelaide during that time, head over to Pirate Life Brewery. No affiliation whatsoever. I just love these guys, and I love what they're doing. They make damn good beers, and they're fans of barbecue. So and they really showed that, taking on the sponsorship for the main ambassador for Meatstock this year. So good stuff. Good on Pirate Life. Now, speaking of meat, whilst traditionally it has been sort of hard to find low and slow barbecue meat butchers, especially around Melbourne, they have been popping up more and more. But one stalemate that has always been there, one go-to that everyone knows about if you're in Melbourne, is Kelly's Meats down in Torridon. Incredible. I mean, they specialise in, American low and slow barbecue meat. And they got everything. I mean, you can go around town and you can find, a good brisket if you look hard enough. A good rack of ribs. You can find anything you want if you look hard enough. But at most butchers, if they do have that sort of slow cook barbecue meat, it's, the shitty offcuts of a brisket, or they're pre-marinated, or, their ribs are not exactly quality, or they're spare ribs, but they're not well trimmed and they require a lot of work and flavouring up. But if you want to go to a one-stop shop where they've got everything and you don't want to hunt around, and you can get down to Turin in Melbourne, they got everything. I just got that Wagyu beef brisket flat from there a few weeks ago that I cooked on Traeger Day. Now, whilst you can find Wagyu brisket in a lot of delivery services, a lot of barbecue butchers that do butcher in a box deliveries, or you can travel for them, it can be hard to find good value flat brisket, especially with Wagyu. The thing is now, I love point, I love full packers, especially the point of you doing brisket pies or something like that, where you want the fatty bits. But when I'm slicing, especially for a real melt in your mouth, I want flat. I mean, you want the flat of the brisket and you want to slice that thing up thinly. I have not had such a well marbled Wagyu brisket like the one I got from Kelly's a few weeks ago. Reasonably priced, they're well sourced, they're good quality, and they got everything. They got any type of cut you want, any end of the animal you want, even the stuff that everyone's doing at the moment, the beef shins, the Thor's hammer tomahawk steaks, they're all over it, and they got every single rub you can get. I mean, I've seen, they got all the meat church, they've got boomers in there now, I think. There's heaps. I mean, everything you want, butcher's axe, it's all there. One-stop shop for real low and slow. You can even get your wood chunks there, or your wood pellets, your all kinds of charcoal, your briquettes, your lump. They do an awesome job. They got a good loyalty program for 5% off if you join, and it costs nothing. So if you're like me and you barbecue a lot, those dollars and savings add up. So just again, no affiliation, just a shout out to Kelly's Meats for doing their part and filling that missing gap in the low and slow barbecue community, especially when it comes to meat sourcing in Victoria, which sometimes can be a bit of a challenge. So good on them. Something I did want to talk. Pause for a drink. If you're watching this, let us know if you've got a brew. Let us know what you are drinking. One thing I did want to talk about is Grillmarks, we've had a website that was nothing. It was just sort of like a, here's what we do, here's what I am, here's where you can find us. Just because it seemed like we had to have a website. Well, I had to have a website. I've actually done a little bit of work on it, formatted it up. Right now there's a homepage, just says a little bit about GrillMarks Barbecue. Then there's a content page, which pretty much says, here's what we do on socials, here's what I do with GrillCave Banter on YouTube, and here's my idea for a GrillMarks Barbecue competition team in the future, and a stay updated sort of blurb. Then there's an about page, which is just about me and my journey, which I've gone through before. But if you haven't seen that episode, which was the first episode, or you want to read a little bit about my, how I found real barbecue, you can have a read on there, on the About Me page. And then there's just the podcast page, which just has the direct feed to the YouTube playlist of GrillCave Banter. And then it's got the Linktree link with all the socials, everywhere you can find me. Just something that I'm working on, and it's going to evolve as GrillMarks Barbecue evolves. I hope to keep this thing growing, hope to keep the socials content moving. I want to really, the next thing as this starts to grow, I really want to talk to some guests and have GrillCave Banter, not just me sitting here babbling on, because it probably bores you guys to death, but I want to actually talk to some guys in the barbecue community, like I've said, so I'm hoping that's going to be coming soon, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, there's a website up there, no proper domain name yet, but I will post it in the YouTube link, and you guys can just check it out, just because, yeah, it's just all part of the growing the SEO on Google and just being everywhere I can be. Just another step in that. So, yeah. Cheers, everybody. Okay, I'm going to try and keep this episode a little bit shorter than last week, but what I want to end this one with is a funny story. So, a funny story for you guys about when I had my Pro Smoke offset smoker. So basically, when I was getting into heavy barbecuing, I've told the story where I started off with an offset after the upright gas smoker, and basically I had no shelter outside. Now, as you may know, with offsets, they can be heavy units, especially the Pro Smoke. That thing, that thing was a good 70, 80 kilos maybe to move it. Basically, I was mid-smoke, been doing a brisket from midnight, and I think it was maybe 9, 10 a.m. in the morning, and I had no shelter. We hadn't built the boogaloo yet out here, put the gazebo up, so I didn't really have the shelter. And the weather turned from a sunny sunrise morning to practically hailing and thunderstorm real quick. All I had to see was the cloud coming over, and I knew that was it. So I scrambled. I scrambled to try and find shelter. But, whoa. That's for the bloopers. I scrambled. I tried it. We have like a clothes horse, one, just one of those. You fold it and hang it, and it stays up. I tried to wheel a smoker under that, and I put a tarp, like a big tarpaulin, over that, thinking that will work. Stupid. I mean, I'm panicking. All I'm trying to do is protect my smoker and the meat, so I'm panicking bad. And what happens is, obviously, the water buckets down and starts to fill the tarp, and it dips. And I go, shit, what do I do? So I get up there, and I'm shaking the clothes horse, the bit that folds in, I'm shaking it to try and flow the water off, and it's bouncing off the side in just buckets. I would like by the end of this thing dipping in, it would have been. We're talking like, it was ridiculous. 100 a litre of water just bucketing to the sides, and I'm trying to not let it go on the smoke, and I'm trying to shake this thing, bounce the water out the top. I get another 2 big tarps, big heavy duty ones, and I'm putting them over. I triple laid this thing up so it's like that thick, heavy tarps. Again, I'm in panic mode. I'm not thinking about, is this going to work? My whole thing is like, protect the meat. I've worked hard on it. I've been babysitting the offset smoker fire all night. So what happens? More water comes in, and it starts to cave, and I tighten the buckles down around with a rope around the clothesline. That way the tarps stay flat. Because it was so thick, it would really take a hell of a lot of water to dip it. So it stayed stable, and I thought, good, this is working. And all the water's brushing off the front, down the side. It was like a waterfall with the smoker underneath, staying protected. So I went inside. I closed the door and I go, I think we're okay. So sit down. What was that? Run outside, open the door. Of course, it's a shitty tin clothesline. Couldn't handle the weight of all the water on it. Buckled, tarps came down. Water just flooding. Litres and litres upon litres just flooding down. All into the pit, down into the chimney. I see it dripping. Like, I'm in full-blown panic mode now, and it's just, I run out there and I lift the lid up and just like a waterfall gets out the smoker. The meat's just like floating. My brisket's floating in a little puddle. My coals, my fires have gone out. This water has flooded directly into the firebox. Gone. It's filled with water to the point where the firebox starts to bend. And I nearly cried. It was sad. And safe to say I drank my sorrows away that night. That was the end of old Pro Smoke. She was done. That was it. I wheeled it up, and a few weeks later she went away in hard rubbish. Moulded on there was no clean that up. And a lot of people at the time when I was posting about it said, this is back when it wasn't grill marks, it was just me posting in the Australasian Barbecue Alliance page on Facebook. And I got a lot of heat for like not cleaning it out or restoring it. You don't understand. At that point, I was just angry. Took a lot of effort. I left it too long and it all moulded on the inside. I was never going to eat out of that thing again. It was fucked. And it also threw me off. But screw this. I'm done. Didn't barbecue again for 6 months. And I bought my bullet smoker and started again when the weather got better. But from that point on, for at least 2 years, whenever it was coming towards winter or colder weather, stayed away. Or wind, done. Didn't play with fire. Was over it. Didn't even attempt it. Just a panic. And then we got the gazebo built, and for about 3 years now, I barbecue all year round, and rain still gets in occasionally, or, wind, but I've obviously become better at managing my fire. Back then, too, I was still producing white, shitty smoke. I mean, I wasn't doing good. I thought I was, but I wasn't. But that's probably the funniest barbecue story, when I've told people that, usually the reaction is, I've done worse, or at least you forgot to babysit the fire and fell asleep, Some shit can go wrong, but anyway, that's my barbecue story from back when I started this whole journey, and But you kept going. Like, I keep going, you kept pushing, you get better, and that's how you improve. So to anyone struggling on their barbecue journey with anything, whether it's fire maintenance or getting a recipe, or, you know, whether you're trying to build a barbecue empire or you're running a restaurant or whatever, you all know the drill. Just keep going. Don't quit. Cheers. Barbecue family, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching GrillCave Banter. I'm Mark from Grill Mark Barbecues. Happy Friday, enjoy your long weekend. Build them fires, get grilling and drink some brews. Good barbecue, brews, good times. Cheers everyone, have a good one.